What's up, my fuzzy little Kiwis? This is Rob from A Gay Guy Plays, and today we are back with another installment of the Weekly Nightwave, the series where we take a look at this week's acts and figure out the most efficient or most entertaining way to take them on. In addition to that, we'll also be taking a look at the Rift Sigil, as well as the 2 Exodias that come with the Plaguestar event, and then figure out exactly what we should be doing with the rest of our leftover points from Plaguestar. So without ado, let's go ahead and jump on in. I don't know, I had a really weird pause there, as if I was gonna like do an editing cut or something, because I'm not. So first and foremost, we have the daily, which is attractive, which kind of goes along with one of my fun ways to do things this week. And that is kill 150 enemies with magnetic damage. Next up, we have hacker, which is the leftover one, and I still have 4 more consoles to go ahead and hack. But we move on to our weeklies with Earth Bounty Hunter. Complete 5 different bounties in the Plains of Eidolon. Next up from there, we have Earth Fisher, catch 6 rare fish in the Plains of Eidolon. And then we have Guild 1 modular item. Oh, it's my favorite. But you know what? Maybe we can make a new Zaw this week, or a new kick gun. We'll have to see. Oh, or maybe a new MOA. Let's make it exciting. Why don't we create new MOAs? In addition to that, we have Rescuer, which is complete 3 rescue missions. We have Vault Looter, which is unlock 4 Orokin Derelict Vaults. And then we move on to our Elite Weeklies. This one, to me, doesn't feel so elite. Complete a defense mission reaching at least wave 20. I know they knocked it down for like time purposes, but I'm like, wave 20, okay, I guess. But here's a tip for that one that we can actually go ahead and do. If you need to farm vaulted relics, go into the void and go hit up a defense over there so that you can get your vaulted relics and complete your elite weekly. Then we also have elite test subject, which is complete 8 zones of elite sanctuary onslaught. Is it just me, or is this the first time that that's ever popped up? It might have been the second. I don't know, but I don't remember ever going to 8 on one of these, so I'm kind of excited to see people go past, let's be honest, the first 2 zones, because everybody's leveling up their weapons in there. And legitimately, you always get levers too early. So hopefully this week, you'll be able to go a full 8 and maybe get your hands on Blazing Step if you're lucky enough. I've already got mine and I can move on happily. Now, one of the things that I did want to point out as kind of like my challenge this week is to actually play with more retro frames. So when we take a look at attractive and we have magnetic damage, I've actually been doing some playing with mag on stream and Ember as well. So why don't you guys go ahead and take that as the challenge this week, to go ahead and take care of all of your challenges with more of the retro frames. So I'm thinking mag, Ember, Nyx. I know some of y'all are wincing, but don't lie, you spent some money on that deluxe skin and you got yourself some of those new Tenogens out there. So you might as well put it to work, bring her out in some of these missions and get the job done, okay? Listen. Nyx is not that terrible when it comes to rescue missions. Is she the best for it? No, but hey, listen, if enemies are fighting each other, they're not fighting your target. So, I mean, that's a positive, right? I'm just saying. Regardless, let's go ahead and jump into the simulacrum. I'll show off the Rift Sigil there, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at the 2 new Exodia. Now, I've gone ahead and tossed the Rift Sigil on mag, and it has that signature void kind of sizzling effect, like when you get corrupted. However, this one, you could go ahead and tone however you want to tone. This actually goes ahead and highlights all of the texture maps on the Warframe itself, so it looks really, really cool, like it's embedded in there. One of the things that I really liked using this on was Valkyrie. So you know how she has that kind of like tear in the back? I like to actually resize this so it fits perfectly in that tear, so it almost looks like there's like sizzling void energy components in there. It looks really, really freaking cool. Previously, this was only available in some of the alerts that were out there. I'm not sure if there was some sort of side way that you could also grab them at like a rare drop chance, but I know that it was primarily from all of the tactical alerts we had previously. So if you haven't been able to get your hands on it before, you should be able to get your hands on it this week during the Nightwave. So that's definitely something for you guys to take a look at. Now, I have a bit of food for thought for you while we're on this topic. So like I was saying earlier, I was really getting into some of the retro Warframes, playing with mag, playing with Ember, all of that kind of stuff. But what do you guys think if on the weekly Nightwave we actually did a specific spotlight for a certain Warframe? We'd go over the build that I used for them. We'd go ahead and take a look at one fashion frame. I would toss the codes down below, so that way you guys could get your fashion fix. For those of you guys who have been asking about my builds, you could get your build fix, and then we could go ahead and incorporate them into the Nightwave. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments below. But while all of that's going on, I'm going to go ahead and highlight the two Exodias that actually came with the Plague Star event. Now, if you are a vet, you will have seen these before. Or maybe you're a vet that left and came back and you're like, what are these things? Well, these are things that you can go ahead and toss on your Zos or your new players. Let's not forget about new players, because let's be real, DE never does. But these are a couple of Exodias that come with the Plague Star event. You can purchase them withstanding from the CAC. And the first one we're going to be taking a look at, I believe, is Contagion. And this one is after a bullet jump or double jump, melee while aim gliding launches a projectile that explodes upon impact. Now, the different ranks will actually increase the damage if the projectile travels more than 30 meters, and that's an increase of 400% when you hit the max rank. So let's go ahead and take a look at this in action. Let's grab ourselves a Billy. So as you can see right here, aim glide in, go ahead and toss your blade at the enemy, and as you can see from Billy, it's very, very far away, the blade actually embedded it into him. It's like this ghost blade, which mimics any Zos strike that you get. It looks really, really freaking cool. Do be aware that this is area of effect damage, so you can hit multiple enemies with this. I quite like being an invisible frame and launching this at enemies and getting the damage bonus. At least I believe it still works like that. So as you can see right there, just make sure that you are aim gliding when you do it. You can only do it once per aim glide. And do be aware that there is self-damage involved. So I tend to not use this. What happened? That's why I tend to not use it, because shit like that happens. I stay in the safety of my own zone. This is a little too contagious for me. So let's go ahead and move on to the next Exodia, which is Exodia Epidemic. Now this one is after a bullet dump or bullet dump. Let's pretend I didn't say that. Bullet jump or double jump. Double dump. A slam emits a shockwave forward that suspends enemies in the air for a short period. At max rank, you will have them up there for 4 seconds. So let's take a look at this in action. This is far more safe than the other one, okay? So as you can see right here, you just slam, and you can see that little explosion. That's the explosion that it travels to. Oh, we got a couple of them. I must not have killed the other one so much. So, ground slam, and as you can see, they are suspended in the air. It's kind of like a rhino stomp. So now you got a little mini rhino stomp that you can toss on your weapons. Apparently, it doesn't work more than once after a while, but it still is knocking them in the air, as you can see about that. You can kind of wail away at them while you go ahead and do that. Maybe get some ground attacks as well. So it's a really interesting way for you guys to do a little bit of CC just in case you guys need it. And it's got a fairly good range to how far it'll travel, so you can hit enemies from quite far away. Now, with all of that aside, let's go ahead and jump over to Miss Nekak and take a look at some of the rewards you can get from Plague Star. And I'm mainly doing this because of the fact that legitimately all of your points carried over from the previous Plague Star. So if you haven't spent them there, you can go ahead and spend them now and not waste them like I did, because I never knew when it was coming back. Okay, so for those of you guys who are a little bit newer, you can find Nikak over in Cetus, and she should have the operational supply available. Hi, Wisp. How you doing, girl? So you go ahead and click on that and take a look at her offerings. God, she looks fucking creepy. Anyway, as you can see right here, we have a new bevy of Plague Star items for you guys to pick up. The big ones that I would really highly suggest you grab if you have not grabbed them before, of course, is the Snipetron Blueprint. Go ahead and grab your MR off of that. And the Ether Daggers, I believe they were available in a quest and you couldn't get them anymore. Now you can get them. I don't know how it works, but regardless, those are 2 mastery rank items there. You also have the Plague Star Zaw parts, which are actually pretty solid. I like the Plague Star Kiwar Blueprint, and I also like the Bokwin Blueprint. Those are 2 good pickups there if you don't have all of that in the world. Then we, of course, have the 2 Exodias. But the big thing that I would highly suggest you guys pick up, because as you can see, I've got 46k still standing there, and I really have not used them at all. Grab yourself some Forma. grab yourself some Forma if you need some Forma. These, of course, are blueprints, or grab yourself some Cetus Whips, because I know that it is a pain for some people to farm. Now, I know that there were a lot of recipes that were kind of like fixed, that you don't really need certain items anymore, that you can just pick up straight out of the gate. So that's why I'm not necessarily recommending any of the fishing. You should be fine off of that. But really, get yourself some Wisps, get yourself some Forma, and call it a happy day and not have to worry about any of this BS ever again if you put in your time and effort last time. And now you're kind of left with just this. Regardless, that about does it for this week's Weekly Nightwave. Let me know about your feelings about all of this down in the comments below. And as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your fuzzy little kiwis. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!